welcome to episode 59 of the Special Moves podcast. My name's Mike Williams. These guys are Jake Klukowski and Liam McKelvey.
Hello. Hey gamers. Hey festive gamers. Especially if you're listening and watching at the same time on YouTube, because we've got a Christmas tree.
We got a tree.
I say we. It's not collectively ours. It's Mike's.
Yeah.
And if you're just listening in, please heed my words. There's a Christmas tree in the same room as us because we're getting close to Christmas.
Yeah, Jake's making some major eye contact with the tree as he's saying that.
A festive greeting.
Just trying to paint a picture in it. That's what it's all about.
Closed captions.
Thanks for listening to the podcast again. Remember, we got a bonus podcast. We've got a couple that have just gone out for patrons, by the way. So if you're a patron and you've missed that, there's a couple of good bonus podcasts that have just gone out.
Yeah, it was literally 2 in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Back to back, basically, wasn't it? So a bit of that. If you're a patron and you missed out, have a look. It's getting nearer to Christmas. Did you guys pick up anything on Black Friday?
Nope, not a single thing.
So I was in a WhatsApp group with you guys, as you know. It was pretty one-sided because I was just basically doing my Christmas shopping and just
telling us about it.
Yeah, stream of consciousness, telling you about it. So I saw this really good deal. I think it was £4.50 or something for Call of Duty World War II.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wonder if the lad, Liam's already got it, but I wonder if Mike will want this. So I put it in there. By the time I clicked on it to get it myself, it had sold out. So I missed out on that one, unfortunately. Yeah. But the Division was £8.50. I got the Division 2. There was Call of Duty Modern Warfare, this really new one's £39. And then I saw the big ones that I saw were God of War was £9, and Spider-Man was physical, a tenner in Tesco.
That's a good price.
That's good.
£7.50 for Black Ops 4 as well.
Yeah.
I nearly got that one after I missed out on World War II, but it doesn't have a campaign, does it? And I'm not. You know what I mean? I don't want to play. So I got the Division for online, and I was almost. I fancy playing a COD campaign. I don't know what it is. I haven't played one since Black Ops 1, all the way through, So I thought, for a fucking £4.50. So now I might have to go up to £38 and get the new Modern Warfare, innit?
Well,
I'm hearing good things about it.
Yeah, I sort of fancy it as well, but it's still a lot of money. That's basically still a fucking full price game, innit, at that price.
Yeah, so it's £1.50 off as far as I'm aware.
Yeah, exactly.
Because to me, games are £40, and when they're 50, it's something wrong.
Yeah, that's it in a nutshell, isn't it, really? And I would like to play a Call of Duty game. And one thing I did notice, by the way, was on the PlayStation Store, there was a Black Friday sale. So we're recording this on a Monday.
Cyber Monday.
No, that's gone.
Is that gone?
Christmas deals, mate. There's a fucking Christmas deal sale on PlayStation Store. It's pretty good. It's really big. It seems to go on forever. Loads of indie games, some good prices, £2-3 for a few indie games.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So if you're in the market for a little
they have
indie
that games under £6.
Yeah.
Which I don't get. Why 6? Why not 5? That's a lot nicer looking, and it feels like a bargain.
Yeah.
Because the game's never £5.99 either, so it's not even like they're doing it for that. Why 6? Is it
they've already made the graphic? Well, just
because that's another thing as well. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah.
The number 6 aesthetically is going to pull you in more. There's probably some proper bollocks behind it, because I was thinking it's £6 $10, and it's games for under $10.
Oh,
but
maybe.
No, that's not right. No, £1/2 trash, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, let's not get too distracted about that. But I was just confused by it. But that is really full of games that I own already. But if you want a bargain and you haven't played maybe some games that are just off the beaten path, not quite in PlayStation Plus free game territory yet, but will be in 6 months. You can get some good stuff there.
Have they been announced yet? By the way?
Yeah, man, it's Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2 and Monster Motocross.
Yeah, Monster
is in the energy
drink, not
That's all right.
A spiritual prequel to Death Stranding.
I'll get into a bit of Titanfall 2 multiplayer.
Yeah, maybe it will resurge. Yeah, because I played it March. I think it was when you guys were playing Devil May Cry 5, so I think it was February, March.
What, you played a multiplayer? Or?
Nah, man, just a single player, because it was I looked online and it took me more than 45 seconds to find the game. I was thinking about. I had 45 seconds to mull on the fact that everyone I'm going to be playing against is going to be a seasoned pro.
Yeah.
But if there's some sort of second wave or whatever, I'll get on it. But I guess this is that now.
Yeah. So. Well, it's really good multiplayer. It's really before Apex. That was it was really similar to what Apex is now.
I was thinking about playing it because of this, because I'm quite handy at Apex, and I still play it. I've been playing that this week.
Well, it's the same game.
Exactly, apart from with War running, right? Which is
Yeah, in terms of how it handles and that, it feels exactly the same, It's a really good game Titanfall too. So that's a good one. Anyway, yeah. So I had to look through some sales and that, but I didn't pick up anything either. You didn't see anything, Liam?
No, I had to look through the Steam one, the Xbox One, and the PlayStation One, and various online retailers.
Yeah.
Not a single thing grabbed my attention. Like, there was a few times I was like, maybe, and like left it open in a tab.
Yeah.
And then decided,
Yeah.
and just closed the tab and like went on my day.
The closest I've got is Jurassic World, the old theme park management one.
Oh, Frontier.
That's £6-7 or something on Steam.
Yeah.
I sort of fancy that because I really like like them well-made, polished sort of park management type, like Planet Coaster and stuff. I love all that stuff. So I've sort of gone for that, but yeah, I'm the same really. I mean, Dishonored 2 as well, but that's always like I could get that anywhere for a £5 really if I had a look. Do you know what I mean?
Like the thing is, that's the thing about digital games is like you don't have to give bangers out on like the sales were shit from what I was looking at compared to like these ones that I'm talking about that were so cheap were like physical because they must have had to get rid of stock. But like £3.50 for a physical copy of £4.50 for World War II. Like God of War physical for like less than a tenner, Spider-Man for like just over a tenner. Like I think they're all like £4 or £5 cheaper than on the PlayStation Store because Spider-Man was like £16 on PSN.
Yeah.
But like every game is like £4 cheaper physical, and that's like a third of the price.
Yeah.
So I think that in like 5 years' time we're gonna just see shit gaming deals like because I did like basically like in the non-gaming world like all my Christmas shopping on Black Friday. I've never really been in a position financially to like prep and like go for it in one day, but like this year I was like fuck it, I'm gonna see what I can do. I reckon I got some good deals. I don't think I played, and I wasn't getting shit little deals like 15% off. I was only going for like the proper ones. I reckon I've smashed it, but with the gaming I couldn't, and that's like a treat for myself for doing so good to the Christmas shopping, innit? I thought I'll spend this money I've saved on a game or two.
I'll spend more money.
Yes. I've saved £10, so I'll buy Modern Warfare for £40 to celebrate. But I found that I couldn't really get any like proper bangers, and the one opportunity I did, I missed up by posting it in WhatsApp to you guys and missed out. So Division 2 is the best I had, I'm afraid, and the jury's out on this one still.
Well, I know we're going to be playing a bit of Division 2, I think, just to do a bit of co-op. We've not played a co-op game for a while, have we?
Christmassy one, or was that Division 1?
No, that's the first
Division 1, that one's
That's when it happens on Black Friday. The thing that happens.
Do you know what? Well, that's saying something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I remember actually now because Division 2 starts off with like. We used to take it all for granted. We used to expect Wi-Fi and coffee, and then it all stopped.
Yeah.
The dollar virus.
It's terrible. It's really bad.
It's like a script that Bruce Willis would look at and go, nah.
It's literally it's Tom Clancy fan fiction. Quite literally.
Exactly, yeah. He's dead, isn't he?
He died quite a while ago,
yeah. You can tell. Do you know what I mean? If he was alive, he'd been like, nah. Do you know?
It's just badly like. It's just so video gamey, innit? It's so fucking video gamey, the setup of it and stuff. But yeah, the first one I liked. The environment was really, really good. New York, was fucking superb. Like the amount of detail that was like on the streets and like how the cars reacted when you leant up against them and stuff like that. And it was when it came out, it was sort of criticised heavily because of how it wasn't quite up to par with what they'd been showing off at E3 and stuff. It was one of these like big downgrade type games.
That and Watch Dogs, I think, are like two of the most famous ones.
Ubisoft, right? And so that was that sort of overshadowed. I felt how good it actually still was, though. Do you know what I mean? In terms of like fidelity and stuff. So the second one is definitely like it's still up there, like the same sort of level, but it's just a different location, and it's like Washington DC, and it's not quite as I guess. Uniquely kind of iconic because in the first Division, when you're walking down the streets and you're looking up and there's just these fucking giant skyscrapers that are scale, they created the world to scale, so you feel tiny next to these skyscrapers as you would walking down a normal street in New York. But you don't really get that as much in the second one and stuff. But that's not what it's about, is it? It's about shooting people and numbers and stuff.
People. The streets are a bit like I played it and like I like the little arenas that you go into for fighting at, like centers and
shit's about to go down. And
you go into a multi-story car park. I've seen how these things turn out. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you put John Wick mode on. Done.
Yeah.
But before that, like when you get in there, like you're in the White House, and then they're like, go to the shopping centre, which feels a bit of a downgrade because you're in the White House.
Yeah.
Why am I going there? So
Yeah.
you like go to the shopping centre. So I put my sat nav on, like the Division 2 orange line sat nav. And then the streets all look the same because it's America, isn't it? So you're running down the street, you turn this corner, you're running down the street, then 3 enemies appear, the draw distance just like fades them in, and then you can just shoot. I've got like a single shot rifle, I just go boom, 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 carry on running.
Yeah,
I don't take the atmosphere and I don't need to like think about anything tactically. Like then when I get to the place, I can start using all my little drones and this and that.
Yeah.
But the streets and whatnot, it's just like
It doesn't
draw distance. It's me versus the draw distance.
Yeah.
Whichever one draws first, boom, we're there. That wasn't supposed to be wordplay. It was just like, if I can see it first, he's getting shot at.
Yeah.
And those hyenas or whatever the bad guys are called never see you coming because they're all like
Yeah.
just doing all this mad stuff, like threatening people or whatever.
Yeah, I love this. I love the fucking. At first, with the first division, I was a little bit like, "Oh, this is so silly. Like, these are just guys in hoodies, and you're just blasting them with a shotgun,
Yeah.
like for no,
Yeah.
just without any questions asked." But I kind of love that now. I kind of love the
Full-on
like
Judge Dredd.
fucking Judge Dredd.
Yeah.
Like, get the fuck
There's-
out of my
there's
way.
literally
Kinda-
3 fucking goons like shouting at a woman
Yeah,
who's
no mercy.
carrying behind an ambulance, and then you throw a grenade.
Yeah, exactly. It's like pulling in an airstrike to like fucking.
You feel sorry for them a bit because like the voice acting's like shit. The Division are here.
Yeah.
And then you're just like ramboing down the doors and
Yeah.
stuff. But
and you're
I wanna
like
play it
hard
on-
citizen, and you're just
Yeah.
fucking gunning them down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not even words. Just
Yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
literal death stare at him.
Yeah.
It's like I can see where the matchmaking zones are and stuff. So,
Yeah.
but it's one of these games, isn't it? It's one of these games where like you don't feel like comfortable delving into any PvP or anything to do with other players yet. Like I feel like that's a real annoying thing about these games because like I guess when game developers are making these games, they think straight away first thing a player's going to want to do is like start the game and then get involved with other player activities. But I don't know if it's just me, but like I always like think I'll at least get to level 10 first. Like, I want to get comfortable with it first and know the ropes because I'm probably going to get like ganked or shot in the head by some PvP.
And that's the kind of thing that I really enjoyed about Destiny and Destiny 2 as well. You sort of treated it as a sort of Halo like, it just you didn't immediately get thrown into all the MMO-ish type stuff. Like there was a heavy emphasis on story to begin with.
And then there's that one bit at the very beginning where like other players just spawn in, like you don't invite them,
Yeah.
and then afterwards
So
the
it's
most awkward
seamless
thing
though,
ever
isn't it?
is just like how do you tell them to piss off?
Yeah.
Because I don't want like me and fucking Raphael 19
Yeah.
have just worked very hard to take the Cabal down.
Yeah.
But how do I let him know I actually don't want to continue playing with him?
Yeah.
We've done a good job. Let's call it quits.
Kind regards.
Yeah, and I don't want to have to whip out the old PlayStation message and say I've got to go or whatever, innit? I just want to be able to just evaporate.
Yeah.
And Destiny lets you evaporate very easily.
Yeah.
Whereas just, I don't know how easy it's going to be for me to just.
Yeah.
I
know. Division's got some nice things going for it. I mean, I do want to. I feel like I didn't give it a good crack of the whip, and I bought it for like 40 quid or something, like maybe a month or two after it came out. Barely fucking played it. Just couldn't. I think it was just other stuff competing for my attention and stuff.
Yeah. That's what Liam said. And
Yeah.
Liam, you've got it as
Yeah,
well.
I've got it on PC, so it came free with my graphics card.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Because I was asking both of you if you played it. Like, I didn't even know Mike had it. I remember you having it, but I didn't know Mike had it. But you'd said that, especially you, Liam, that like it's good. It's just other things came up, which is what you just mentioned. So I don't know what time. I can't even remember what time it launched.
It was like February-ish, I think. February, March-ish.
Yeah.
And then, it's like, it's because it's one of those games where it wants all your time. You can't split your time easily between it.
Oh, so it did. Because I remember it came out about a month after Anthem.
Yes.
And I
it
remember
did.
a lot of, because I remember seeing a lot of Twitch, like people going from Anthem to the Division, and I don't think they ever went back to Anthem, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's talking about sales. I mean, you can get
I've
that for
seen
like
it, $5 was the lowest I saw it.
Yeah, I've seen it for $5. I saw it that wasn't on sale for £12. I texted you guys a photo, right? I was in Tesco, and it was on. It was just for sale in Tesco for 12 quid. It wasn't a discount or
That's
anything.
the retail.
Yeah, there was no yellow sticker or anything on it, so that's pretty crazy.
There was a big rumour like last week, wasn't there, that they're just they're burying it, basically.
The big meant to be doing an overhaul, weren't they?
Yeah, I heard.
It's what that's the rumour I heard anyway.
Yeah, I thought
that they were planning a big, like,
I thought
Anthem 2.0 or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, I thought they were just canning it. Maybe like they were canning the idea of the original and they were going to revamp it, and I just didn't read that bit because I read that and went, yeah, that makes sense. That bit doesn't make sense though. That's a lot of effort to do. It has worked though.
I'm just trying to imagine what headline that you read. EA canning Anthem. Yeah. And then it went on to say Anthem's original concept or something.
Yeah.
But you just fucking...
EA put Anthem to rest so it can wake up and be rejuvenated. And I've just gone, it's dead.
Like a phoenix from the ashes.
Yeah.
I think The Division 1 was one of those games that did evolve and adapt.
Definitely. Oh, yeah, for sure.
I don't
Absolutely.
think that was as binary as, like, fuck it, 2.0.
No, it was
it was over time.
Patches.
It's definitely held up as it was held up at the time as when Ubisoft were turning these games around, like Rainbow Six and stuff. Because The Division was slated for, how it felt, like the response of the weapons and stuff. Everything felt a bit flimsy. Mm-hmm. There wasn't enough. The item progression wasn't very good.
I remember reading.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Bad loot. It just didn't feel like a satisfying game. So all like the mechanics in the game, they spent ages tinkering with it, and then that evolved into a much better game than it was at launch. But I enjoyed it at launch.
That'd be weird. Because like whenever I think of that, my like go-to is like Final Fantasy 14.
Yeah,
that's like a big fucker, isn't it? But that, like, imagine if the Anthem was like that. Because, I guess No Man's Sky is another one where
No Man's Sky is the one for me. I think,
even though that was, I guess you'd consider it gradual. Each increment of change was so big.
It's a series of overhauls, isn't it?
Have you seen it? There's another one. They just
Synthesis, right?
Yeah, like last week there was another No Man's Sky update.
What?
Yeah,
they're going to
I
put
don't know
in
what it had.
Literally,
I saw people tweeting about it.
It's mostly like the terrain stuff.
Great.
Okay.
So a lot more mining capability and a lot of options for customizing like the worlds and stuff. So, and I think they're adding like refinement to inventory stuff again, so it's less cumbersome and shit like that. But actually that's one thing I've not seen anyone talking about, and I haven't even thought to bring it up apart from that, but that did happen like last week, I think. It was about that, wasn't it?
So it's called No Man's Sky Synthesis.
I'm pretty sure it is
something
Synthesis.
like that, yeah.
And if it's not, it's close enough.
Synth is in there somewhere.
Yeah, there's the word synth, yeah.
Well, that sounds pretty good. So is it like they've just revealed that its existence without going into detail? Oh, it's out.
It's out.
They announced it as they put it out. They did their traditional big, like, massive patch notes.
Yeah,
thing.
it's just one of them. Like they did like the one with the sky and then the one with the water.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what it was called, but like the one that added clouds and rainbows, and then the one that added all the watery shit. That was pretty low key. Like they didn't like hype it.
Yeah.
Whereas like they hyped up the multiplayer one and then this one next or whatever. So Synthesis was just like, it's like a little piece of shit one that they didn't even fucking.
Oh, that's cool. I'll have a look at that.
Classic fucking Hello Games. Yeah. So Anthem, I give it 2.0, but that's the thing I was wondering about. People did buy the disc from Tesco for fucking £12 and don't have the internet. They're going to be playing a different fucking game.
Well, that's the thing.
It's online only, so they best add. Do you know what I mean?
Well, it won't even let you start the game, will it, if you don't have an internet connection?
Anthem needs an overhaul. It doesn't. I think it's no good to just tweak it and evolve it and stuff. It needs a fucking.
And I think it will
be
a mistake to try and hedge their bets with an Anthem 2. You know, especially if it ends up in Anthem 1.5. So I think it'll be nicer to just do it with one title. And I guess when it's a risk I don't think will pay off, because EA have got a lot of other like games as a service games that they're obviously going to be planning, and we've got next gen coming out. So who's got time for like an Anthem 2 when like a year later we'll have Halo or whatever the fuck.
And Ubisoft very, very recently said, talking about the Division 2, Ubisoft very recently said they've realised over the past year, this is massive paraphrasing by the way, this isn't a quote.
It can't be bigger paraphrasing than EA just killed Anthem.
Yeah.
That's just fucking fake news.
Yeah, well maybe this is fake news as well, but they said something along the lines of, after the Division 2 and Ghost Recon fucking Breakpoint.
Yeah.
That they don't think that live games work as sequels so much, and they've realised they've learnt a lesson in terms of like instead of like coming up with a new game for the Division, they should have perhaps continued to evolve the first Division.
Perhaps,
but that's what's working for them with For Honor and Rainbow Six and stuff.
Right,
and then the sequels for their live games have, in their eyes, bombed.
Yeah,
in their eyes.
I think it might be because of the timing. Because, like, I am not very inclined to jump on Destiny 2 again now, even though they changed a lot.
Yeah.
But if they went next year, like, or the year
Destiny
after
3.
Destiny 3, I'd be like, boom, I can jump in.
I'm with you.
So
I think it's
personally, I don't know, but if what's this called, like Shadowkeep? If this was Division, if this was Destiny
2. Yeah.
I'd be like, oh. But if they keep it a couple of years, I reckon it can absolutely work.
I think with Destiny, that's Bungie's one, isn't it? Ubisoft are in a different position where they're like, well, we've got about 10 different live games.
Yeah, juggling 5.
So it's interesting. It's an interesting one. We've been talking a lot about Black Friday, so I'm going to wheel a conversation back to that for a second.
Okay.
Via our Dear Special Moves inbox. If you want to send us an email, it's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. That's dearspecialmoves@gmail.com. They do all get read, and a couple of them make the podcast. So this one's from long-time supporter Xena Janeway, who says, Dear Special Moves, just finished listening to your podcast from the 25th of November 2019. You guys were talking about Black Friday sales, and it clicked in my mind how weird it must be for people outside the US to have this giant shopping day without the connection to Thanksgiving like Americans have. As an American, we don't have as much influence from other countries in the same way. The only one I can think of is Cinco de Mayo, which Americans use as an excuse to get drunk off tequila.
Yeah.
I'd love to get your guys' perspective on this, being European/Welsh. All the best, Xena Janeway, a.k.a. Eric, from Western Massachusetts.
Shouts out.
Nice one.
Eric, shouts out Western Massachusetts as well.
Yeah.
Why not? We shout out everywhere else. He's right. That's brave to be out here saying Americans don't get influenced by cultures as much as everybody else. In terms of holidays and shit, I mean, Cinco de Mayo, because Mexico's attached to you guys, so yeah, in a way, same way that Wales is influenced by England. But you're right, Americanization of Western Europe is massive because of TV, I think. Because American TV, especially in the 90s and
movies
the early 2000s.
It's called globalization.
Yeah, globalization big time, but especially like our generation. Like, I think my kids are going to be a lot more internationally, like, fucking inspired. Like,
renowned. Oh.
Yeah. Not than me. Come on, baby. Now, listen, from fucking Western Massachusetts to Kevin, or One-Eye Kev in Germany, like, or whatever the fuck it was. So, no, I think
that was a reference to an email that we had, in case anyone's wondering what the fuck Jake's on about. Someone sent us an email about a story where they got stabbed in the eye.
Hey, so I think, in the 90s and stuff, like, Americanization just came over big time. So, like, and what's even more confusing, Xena Janeway, and anyone else who doesn't know, there is a Black Friday concept in the UK that predates American Black Friday, which is...
It's all about getting drunk.
And it's a completely different day. And I guess that Thanksgiving is the big reason for it over there, but, like...
Logically, it makes sense here because it's the last payday.
Exactly, that's the thing.
It's the last working day before Christmas. So everyone goes out to the pubs and clubs and has a good time.
So our Black Friday, like Liam's saying, that's what we call it. We call it, like, it's the last weekend before Christmas. But American Black Friday works for us over here because of capitalism. So I just got paid on Black Friday. Wow, I've got all this money in my bank. You've got that payday mind on.
Yeah.
And that's the way it is. And, like, a lot of companies now reflect the big Christmas payday rush accordingly, and they'll pay people early. So, for example, like, I didn't know this until, like, yesterday, but I'm getting paid before Christmas. So it wasn't my last payday before Christmas, but luckily for me, I would have done my shopping. But it's handy, it's convenient. There's no like attachment to it. Like, we don't have Thanksgiving over here. That seems, well, we actually did have Thanksgiving.
We had Friendsgiving.
We had Friendsgiving.
That's why Jake had a chef hat on.
Last podcast, we were cooking a good old Sunday roast or whatever. But we is that about right? Do you reckon it's convenient, and that's why it's over here, and because we
and it's
as a
only
culture
recent as well.
Yeah, it's because we just love America, don't we?
It's only started in the last 3 or 4 years or so. Like, in earnest.
Yeah, it has been. Well, about the same time the Kardashians been popping up over here as well.
Yeah,
but it's the same as that and all this bollocks.
You can't underestimate this single-handed power of like Amazon and stuff. Where someone maybe 5 or 6 years ago, when Amazon went, "Hang on a minute, why aren't we just fucking going huge on Black Friday in Britain and Europe and stuff as well?"
Yeah.
And then before you know it, fucking Black Friday is a big thing.
The first company I remember doing it properly over here was Asda, which is just the European division of Walmart.
Yeah,
so that
Walmart
makes sense. It's America.
Asda,
Again, that's one company making a decision, and it's just fucking transforming the future of.
It's a really clever idea because
Fridays in November.
Yeah, like you can see why companies would get on board as well, because like they have to shift all their stock to make space for Christmas stock and shit like that. So the answer is capitalism, and how does it affect? That's basically it. Like I don't know how far east it spreads. So like we're a sea away from America, and I know it's in Europe, but I don't know if Eastern Europe's affected by it. I don't know if Asia gets affected by Black Friday. I don't know if it's a whole global thing yet. I know it certainly is in the Western world, but I don't know. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, the Morocco have Black Friday and that.
I don't know, mate.
If we've got any, because I know we certainly do have like Pan Asian, East Asian listeners. Can someone let us know, or someone that's living out there? Like, someone emailed in a couple of weeks ago that I think they're living in Singapore. Like, do you have Black Friday over there? Please let us know so we can be both educational and informative and entertaining. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, listen, Liam's been playing some games.
Yeah, I have. What have I played? Remnant from the Ashes. Played that.
What is this? Right, I've had a look at this a few times, and a few of our commenters have brought it up in the comments and such, and I thought, all right, I'll have a look at this.
I get it confused with that one that looks like a shit BioWare game, the Greedfall. I thought it was Greedfall.
Yeah, I'm right with you there. Totally with you there. Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
It's like
and there's probably a game called Ashes from the Remnant or something, isn't there?
Yeah.
It doesn't help that it looks like Darksiders as well, because it's from the Darksiders developers.
So it's a perfect storm of
So it looks like
confusion.
Darksiders, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's a separate
basically
game.
like Europe in a game, like all the European developers squished together.
Yeah.
Is this the one that's got like, looks like Dark Souls of Guns, Liam?
A little bit. So the Dark Souls comparisons come from like there's checkpoints which you have to activate, like bonfires. You rest at them.
Yeah.
You get your health back. Enemies respawn, all that, and it's like your main progression through the world. And then there's big boss fights that have health bars that take up like the entire top half of your screen. You have to dodge roll and stuff like that. But really, it's a third-person shooter. It's got a bit of looter-shooter mechanics. So you get gear and you upgrade that like Dark Souls, where you get materials and you reinforce it to like +1, +2, +3, and you build it up like that, like you do with Titanite shards in Dark Souls.
Yeah.
But the main meat of the game is I'd say it's a co-op shooter first and foremost. You can play it solo, which is what I did, and you go through worlds just blowing the shit out of random monsters and big gnarly creatures that try and eat you.
What can you on that, right? What is the like theme and the premise, and what's the world?
The premise is there's a corruption called the Root. Looks like a big tree with red veins in it.
Yeah.
And it's basically like post-apocalyptic. It's taken over the world, and you are the lone warrior who goes on the journey to discover...
With friends.
And guns.
With friends if you want.
Yeah.
Except they don't ever appear in the story, of course.
Yes.
You are
one of them.
You're the only hero who can do this.
Yeah.
And so, you have to discover the cause of the Root and, try and stop it. Very sort of generic.
The root of all evil.
It might as well be that. And then, so it's third-person shooter, like I said. Very satisfying gunplay.
Cool.
But the world design is quite boring. The NPCs are literally just there to serve different functions to you, like give you tell you where to go on your next mission, upgrade this bit of equipment. You want to buy materials from the other NPC. And after, there's like an intro cutscene, and then the story takes like a massive backseat for the rest of the game. It's all about like the moment-to-moment gameplay.
Okay.
You know the gun, like how many different types of weapons are there?
There's quite a few. So, and it's free. You get to choose from 3 classes. Like one of them is a close-up melee brawler. One's like a mid-range healer, and the other's like long-range DPS damage dealer type.
Yeah.
And you get like the sniper rifles. They're all they're kind of Western themed.
Cool.
The weapons, even the clothes are like the character I played as like the healer, and he had like a big cowboy hat thing on.
I saw that it was like some awkward, like not quite steampunk, but weird mishmashy thing.
It's like it's Western with you can see the steampunk influence, because like the main weapon I had as the mid-range guy was like a coach gun, which is a double-barrel shotgun.
Yeah.
And then it's like repeater rifles, like a Winchester rifle and stuff like that, and sniper rifles with giant scopes on them.
Bit of like Outer Worlds type.
Little bit,
vibes.
but like everything's a bit grittier because everything's like broken.
Yeah,
You've got to forge it from whatever materials you can scrounge up.
Okay.
But like, it's a good game, and it's about 15-20 hours long if you just like power through the story.
Yeah.
The side quests, there are side quests in it, but the game doesn't really tell you they're there. There's no quest log or anything. And the map in the game is not particularly helpful, because you can't well, it doesn't tell you where you are on the map. It is mostly about the gameplay. Everything else feels, in my opinion anyway, a bit undercooked.
Yeah,
Like
okay.
the environment design, it felt very samey, even though you go to some quite exotic locations like a barren wasteland, and then you go to like this lush jungle.
Yeah.
But everything just sort of felt the same.
There was this game, and I think it's also on Game Pass, because this is how you played it right on Game
Yeah,
Pass.
I played it on Xbox Game Pass.
Because it's Ashen. Was that what it was called?
Ashen.
Yes, that was very Dark Souls-like.
If that was a bit like that in your description, like a bit undercut, and you did go to like different fantasy places, but everything was just a bit. I'll tell you another game that also was a bit like that, and also felt a bit undercut, and was all about the moment-to-moment gameplay, and everything else felt undercut, and was still inspired by Dark Souls, but not quite Dark Souls, and is also on Game Pass, I think. Absolver, the one that was a bit more martial arty. These fucking games.
I'm
you know why
too
Dark
old,
Souls
you know.
was so
I'm
good?
too old for
Dark
it.
Souls was so good because it was cooked through. It was cooked to perfection.
Yeah.
So stop undercooking the Souls games, and that's how you get a good one, isn't
Stop
it?
making Souls games.
think-
Make other games. Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
Remnant is good. I did have a good time. I would say it is a good game. I do think I would have enjoyed it more co-op.
Yeah.
But,
Oh,
I
I
mean,
feel bad somehow. I feel like I
alright.
should have been there
You're
for you.
fucking
Do you know
cold
what
to
I mean?
arms.
well,
Where were you?
I
You
literally,
coach gun.
I hammered it over a weekend.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I got through it. I like the gunplay. It's good. Like, it's very satisfying.
I
The
heard
gun,
that they've
like,
really worked. Like they managed to make the third-person shooting feel very cool.
Yeah,
for
it's
now.
like all the weapons I tried, and I tried quite a few of them, they all felt great to use.
Yeah.
But then the whole point of the game is you're just meant to sort of replay it. So, like, you change your world state, like, up for difficulty,
Okay.
new enemies spawn, and it's just like a sort of the endless gear chasing treadmill sort of game. But, like, it is fun, and if you've got Game Pass, I would recommend, give it a go. It's not
Doesn't
can't
cost
hurt.
any money.
Exactly, like, and
time.
it's alright. I hope they go back and add new content to it.
Yeah.
I guess it's Remnant from the Ashes, because they're going to do Remnant, Ashes 2, Ashes Harder. You know what I mean?
What comes after Ashes?
Remnant in the Fire, I
I
don't know.
don't know. They made a whole trilogy of games called Dark Souls about this. Which again,
That's true.
you know, like Ashen 1, Ashen 2.
Ashen 1. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Imagine that.
Yeah.
That's
Remnant,
what would
Ashen
happen.
2.
That's what would happen if it was a Kojima game. If Dark Souls was made by Hideo Kojima, the hero in the next Dark Souls would be called Ashen 2.
And he's called...
And unironically, and there'd be a dash in between it.
No one would
Ashen
question it.
Dash 2.
Yeah.
That's what it would
Why
be.
is he called Die Hard? Listen, mate.
Game of the year.
You've not been paying attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Do you know the Game Awards? Death Stranding's up for a lot, right? I've got to say, I'm not... Everyone's like going, oh... I feel really bad.
What? Why? Why are they going over that?
Because Jeff and
Oh,
Yeah.
Jeff's in it.
they're mates, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
alright.
Game Awards is Jeff's whole thing.
I don't think it's up for things it shouldn't be up for. I think
What's it up for?
like Game of the Year,
Best
Best
game,
Story, and some other shit. Best Action
Yeah.
Adventure. Best Action
Well,
Adventure.
I think, like, Jeff Keighley, he went on Twitter as well and said he doesn't vote on the games. He
Yeah.
literally just he made the show, the format, he presents it. He doesn't vote on it. He has no, like, say on over what wins and what doesn't win.
Yeah.
So that, I think he sort of, like, absolved himself a bit after,
But-
because people were quite quick to jump on the accusatory bandwagon.
The only thing I would say is it's his own fucking fault for doing that. Because if you're gonna do it, you're
The conflict of interest, of course,
Yeah.
is going to be
Don't
pointed at
hero
him.
worship him.
you're opening the door to it, and he has to just accept that this is what's going to happen if you do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying he shouldn't have done it, and I'm not saying
Yeah.
that I'm just
But,
saying.
yeah, no, I mean, fuck Jeff Keighley in this sense. I just mean, like, I feel bad if Death Stranding wins, that people
It'll
will
be
only
tarnished.
say it's
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
of that.
They'll-
And that's,
It won't win on its own merits.
Yeah.
will
yeah,
it?
because I know
This is the kind of thing that you got to think about when Hideo Kojima invites people into his games, and B, when those people then accept it. You got to think. Of course, if I don't care what I was doing and who I was, if Hideo Kojima said, "Do you want to be in my game?" I would say, "Fuck yes, please. I'll be there." And,
Yeah. You're just like,
I'll
you've got
be
a
there
few
tomorrow.
hours.
7 hours.
Yeah, but
While you sit and get a full 3D scanned.
but if you are Jeff Keighley, you got to think about what's going to happen, and this is what's going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, and
especially after the whole, still associated with Doritos, isn't he? In Mountain Dew.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
he's known for being. Well,
that's
not known
the famous
for being,
picture, isn't
yeah.
it?
Yeah, but I mean the word "still" is what's interesting me there.
Oh,
It's more like meme-y at
once
this point.
branded a sellout, you can't claw back, I guess.
Oh, I see. You're saying that people still connect him to that, right? I see. I thought you.
Oh no, it's not like he's still got a brand.
I thought you were saying that he was walking around in Doritos jackets or something.
That photo will forever haunt.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
Never
You're definitely right.
Here we go. I've got the definitive list here, guys. Right, of the Death Stranding awards. Okay. So it's up for Game of the Year.
The Death Stranding Awards.
The Jeff Keighley Death Stranding Awards. Hideo Kojima presents. Yeah. So it's up for Game of the Year. It's up for Action Adventure Game, Art Direction, Audio Design.
Well, art direction, unquestionably, I can see why that would happen.
Yeah, definitely.
And audio design. And the only reason I can't comment on the others is because I'm only on fucking chapter 3 or something.
All of the technical categories, I can see why.
Yeah, no, this is it. It's up for best video game direction. Like, can you name another video game director apart from Cory Barlog off the top of your head? Do you know what I mean? Because Hideo Kojima just fucking...
Peter Molyneux, he's one, isn't he?
Exactly. This is it. So, with the game direction, he's up against some good games. But
that one that did A Way Out, quite
Joseph Fares.
He's one.
A film director.
He was also at the fucking Game Awards. Because with the game direction, right? So
Suda 51.
This is... yeah. I've turned it into a pub quiz by accident.
Sweary.
They're all Japanese, aren't they? Because this is the thing.
Yeah.
The game direction here, I'll just read out the nominations. So there's Death Stranding, which is obviously Kojima. But then there's
The
also...
Nier Automata guy.
Yoko Taro.
Sorry.
There's also Control.
Control. Oh, I want to see Control.
Resi 2 is also up for it. Outer Wilds, not Outer Worlds, Outer Wild, and
the good one.
Is this for direction now?
Yeah, for direction. See,
out of all them, I seriously hope Control wins best direction.
I really wished I had the foresight of when Mike said, "If you got anything you want to bring up in a podcast," I said we should go through the Game Award nominees because it's a bit too ad lib now, but.
Listen, mate, lean into it. It's fine.
You know what I mean?
Just lean into it.
For some big stuff here, narrative
if you're going through some of the Game Awards stuff, look, I'm locking my phone symbolically and I'm putting it down by the side of my leg.
Hey, do you know what? People have been asking and tweeting. Okay, right. Let's get your hot takes.
Asking for this.
Asking for our take on this.
Asking for our take on the Death Stranding Awards.
Right. So okay. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to go about what you think will win? Are we going to put our pundit hat on? Or are we going to get our hearts out and say what we want to win? Because I'm not going to read them all.
I want to go pundit.
I'm all heart, mate. So.
Okay, all right, that's good. Then I'll stay completely out of it, and I'll just let you.
Like Jeff Keighley, he's not involved in the voting process.
Disco Elysium for every award. Yeah. Right. Okay. Game of the Year. There's Control, Death Stranding, Resi 2, Sekiro, Smash, and Outer Worlds. And Smash was last year, but it just missed that window.
I feel very shitty for feeling this way, but I can't see how Outer Worlds is in there when there's so many indie games that are just because they're indie games, they're not in the best game category for some reason.
Yeah, no, honestly,
it's baffling me.
And
really.
I'm not saying this because I worked on it, but I promise you, based on everybody who's talking about it, why Disco Elysium wasn't up for it is a surprise to me. Mm-hmm. But I don't think Outer Worlds has got a chance in hell of winning. Neither's Control. They can both fuck off. They've got no chance. It'll be between Death Stranding, Resi 2, Sekiro, I reckon.
I really want to play Control. That's going to be my next one, I think.
Control's really good.
I've just decided that now.
My heart says a Resi 2 remake for Game of the Year.
For Game of the Year? Do you think? Yeah.
Just good.
What else?
It's the highest one on...
Sekiro's the best one on this. Fire Emblem not being in there is a bit of a
trigger. It's a tough one to call.
Resi 2 is still the highest rated game of 2019.
Yeah.
Disco Elysium one below it.
It is now, yeah.
Is this publicly voted?
So it's a jury vote, and then the public's vote counts as one jury vote.
Oh, right.
So I've heard a few people I watch on YouTube have said we are part of the Academy equivalent of...
Yeah, no, I know people that are the same. So they all get a vote, and then the public counts as a couple of points towards it. So it's not completely, because then Outer Worlds would win a lot probably. Mm-hmm. But Game of the Year, I reckon it'll be probably Death Stranding. Out of that list,
I hope it's Resident Evil 2, just because that game was near flawless. I think
nothing stands out as an obvious one there, but I'm going to say Sekiro because of how much it made me feel like a samurai shinobi fucking.
Yeah.
I thought it was genius at the time, and I hated the final boss. I was like, I entered this new state of anger where I didn't feel anger anymore, And but still, I thought it was absolute genius. It was, yeah. It was powerful. No, it was. I thought it was
Resi
genius.
2 is amazing, but I couldn't give a remake it because, you know,
I know it's a remake, which is part of why I don't think it will win because it's based on an existing game already.
I'm voting Sekiro there.
I reckon Death Stranding will win that.
Yeah,
and people will go mad.
Is it a game though?
Yeah,
it's all the hot takes you'll see.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Why a movie won Game of the Year this year or whatever? Action Adventure's a weird one. Do you want me to go through that?
Yeah, might as well.
Apex, Astral Chain, COD, Devil May Cry, Gears 5, and Metro Exodus.
Absolutely fucking baffling that as a category.
Absolutely baffling. You're right. We've got Astral Chain rubbing shoulders with fucking Apex, COD, and then for some reason Metro Exodus.
Again, Devil May Cry, Capcom.
Yeah.
I'm going to say Apex because I had a nice
Apex
time.
is the one I played the most, so I was also.
If you want pure action, Devil May Cry, you can't beat it.
This is a weird one. What about this? Action Adventure. So this one.
Sorry, what was the one we just had?
Just action.
Just action.
Yeah, sure.
Action adventure.
So okay. Borderlands 3.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Control. Death Stranding. Resident Evil 2. Sekiro. I'm changing it up every time I say it. And The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening.
What?
And I'll do one more after this, just one more, because there's too many.
I'm going to say Control for that one, because that game is an adventure. And it feels like an adventure as well, with the whole Metroid-like map design in it. It feels like you're constantly discovering new power. Like I would describe an adventure as, progressing, discovering new areas, finding new abilities. And that's what Control felt like. So I'm going to say Control.
I reckon Link's Awakening will win that for some reason. I don't know why, but I reckon it will. I reckon Control will be absolutely robbed blind and not win anything, All right, I'll do one more because there's just too many. Why don't we do...
Indie.
Okay, indie game.
Which shouldn't be its own fucking category.
Fresh indie game presented by Subway, recognising a new independent studio.
Does it say TM after Fresh as well?
It's got
no, it should though. So this is there's two indie categories by the looks of it. Fresh indie game because it's a debut. So there's no Grease or Gris, whatever
Gris, yeah.
Grey in Spanish, that one. My Friend Pedro.
Yeah.
Outer Wilds, Slay the Spire, Untitled Goose Game, and Disco Elysium. Now that category is so exciting.
That's fucking better than the best game category in it. Yeah. That's what I want about.
My most played game this year, one of them is Slay the Spire. Disco Elysium was mind blowing. Goose Game is like the biggest gaming meme of the year, apart from maybe Mr. X actually. Gree is like the sort of Celeste foot for people that like want more graphics, and then My Friend Pedro is just for your fucking Devolver heads, in it, which was
and Outer Wilds.
And Outer Wilds,
the best one.
I think that'll be a tight race between Outer Wilds and Disco Elysium.
Yeah.
I've not played either, but from what I've heard about both of them, I think it'll be a neck and neck.
I've played a tiny amount of Disco Elysium, but I have almost finished Outer Wilds, and it's fucking magnificent.
The rate, so that's the fresh indie. So to be a fresh indie, you had to be a debut. So, and do you know what? Can I just say something as well? Yeah, for those that have played those games, that I'm trying to be too overly sentimental or whatever. Like they're all really fucking good games.
Yeah.
Like Mike just said, then I reckon that's more exciting than the main category, and they're all debut games by people. Mm-hmm. That's exciting. Think about where these guys are going to go next. So indie game, just in general. So this is the last one now. Indie game. Baba Is You, which has been going mad on the indie circuit. Disco Elysium, of course. Outer Wilds, Untitled Goose Game, and Katana Zero, which I actually fucking really liked.
Do you know what? I've listened to the soundtrack of that, but I haven't played it.
It's a good game,
Very, very good.
Yeah.
We play. Is that the one we played that had like?
Me and you had to go over EGX.
Yeah. And it was like Hotline Miami kind of.
Like side scroll over the rewind mechanic.
It's a great game. It's one of the highlights of my year was playing it. I wouldn't say it was the best game, but I had such a nice time, and because of that really nice loop.
Yeah.
Honestly, the music
what did you play it on?
is so good. I played it on Switch.
PC.
I'll go Switch, I reckon. It's on sale on Switch.
Might even be on sale, Katana Zero was very good.
So that's what we thought of the Death Stranding Awards. When is that?
December 12th. So
next week?
Yeah, a week today if you're listening to the podcast on launch day. But yeah, I'm going to be watching it for sure and probably tweeting my disdain when Outer Worlds wins anything.
I just watch it for the announcements, to be honest.
Oh, of course. Oh yeah, can we just quickly tap on this, by the way? Oh my God, right. So there was these big rumours, weren't there? Did I talk about this last podcast? Can't remember.
I don't know what you're going to say. So
well, it was like there's rumours about what's coming out. Oh, I did, because I talked about Half-Life, Alex. Because it was rumoured to be coming along with Elden Ring gameplay and announced.
Can't wait for that. That looks very exciting.
Elden Ring?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking God. Because that's the thing as well, like, Miyazaki, so Elden Ring is the new From Software game, the guys that made Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Sekiro. Then they were saying, yeah, Bloodborne, it was a bit of a Souls-like.
Who said that?
Miyazaki. He was like saying he thinks it's a new thing. Like, you know, it wasn't... Because for him,
true artist.
Souls is that proper fantasy, boring, stale RPG world. Bloodborne was its own style.
Yeah.
And he was saying Sekiro is nothing like a Souls game. And then with this, he's fully gone... This is a proper Souls experience, Elden Ring. We've gone back to the RPG sort of shit. I say he said that. The studio have said that. But it's like, if they didn't consider Sekiro at all a Souls game, and then he's calling this a Souls game, it's going to be good, man. And it's got George R. R. Martin right.
But does that mean, like, stylistically, like there's going to be shields in it and knights?
Possibly.
Do you know what I mean?
The big thing
it
is
looks a bit Norse
it's
inspired.
supposed to be Norse, yeah.
Cool.
Because the working title was like
that
Great
trailer
Rune,
had that
wasn't it?
Valkyrie looking
Yeah,
warrior in it
that's
as well.
the big take on it, is that, and there's supposed to be like all different aspects of it, horse riding in this and that. But if that's true, and the same guy that leaked the Half-Life Alex and the other announcement, I can't remember what it was, that also came true, is right, then I'm going to be popping off on the fucking group chat. Man.
There was a rumour that Capcom were bringing something Resident Evil related as well.
Yeah, so there's either Project RE or Resident Evil 3, which is the big rumour. Like, it's so big that even like Eurogamer, PC Gamer, and all the big
sources
outlets
can confirm.
Yeah, are all confirming it, and like, you know, you're kind of putting your neck out on the line.
It's a bit of a given as well.
Yeah,
after how successful remake of 2 was.
Well, apparently it's not even coming next gen, it's coming this gen. So if that's true, exciting. We could be looking at it in the next couple of months.
Speaking of, there was another photo that was like PlayStation 5 dev kit, 2 of them side to side, and they had like you know, that horrible V-shaped thing. It's, you know,
that's like a 5.
Yeah, that's. Yeah. I mean,
they won't look like the final console's not going to look like that.
Apparently, that was a so the PlayStation 5 dev kit looks like I don't know, like a horseshoe numeral or something, or a Roman numeral.
I suppose it is. Yeah, it's a bit like the Valve logo.
Yeah, I suppose, but apparently that's a technical thing for cooling, so you get more surface area.
They can stack them on top of each other and not have a loss of cooling performance.
Yeah, so but that's just a little PS5 is happening next year update for you.
Yeah. Well, we know it was coming anyway.
Exactly.
I'll give you one just as small update as that. See the thing, it was on the news today about Tom. I can't remember what his name was. Like
Tom Warren?
Yeah, that's it. Saying about
The Verge, right?
He's the editor-in-chief of The Verge, and he was saying hardly anybody's got Scarlet dev kits. Scarlet is the code name for the new Xbox. Hardly anybody's got dev kits for it, apparently. And it's because they're trying to surprise Sony, they said.
But then Jason Schreier came at him with a follow-up tweet saying, actually, they're just behind schedule. There's no secret surprise going on.
Oh, that is behind schedule, because the console launches this time next year. There'll be one under this tree. Do you get me? Like, we're not going to be having...
No, mate, I'm buying that day one, innit? I'm getting my fucking
That's
PlayStation
a day
5.
Take a day off work job.
Yeah, very much so. So let's do one more email before we wrap up then. We're having a spaghetti bolognese in a minute. Laura's cooking it for us.
Yeah.
Fresh after making us some fucking Thanksgiving roast or something last week.
She's got the taste for it.
She's on the old bolognese for us, so that's what we've got to look forward to. But anyway, let's do another email. This one is from Lee Abrams, who's a regular commenter.
He's actually regularly the first commenter.
Yeah, proudly as well.
Yeah.
Lee says, Dear Special Moves, as you like to find out a bit about your listeners, I'll kick off with a bit about me. I am Lee Abrams from Biggleswade in England.
Why?
I work in tech. My job is heading up teams of software developers for a startup. We're going to be big, Lee says,
Lee.
optimistically.
I like the ambition.
All the best, Lee, with that. I've been following you since the Pretty Good Gaming days. I'm a Patreon who loves the bonus podcast. I listen to you in the car on the way to work or on the headphones while doing chores around the house. Audio Master Race via Castbox. And he's in the comments as well.
Yeah.
And he's in the
This is
YouTube
amazing.
comments.
Lee has to go
Jesus.
to fucking foreign lands to stake his claim as the first guy. He's on the Mayflower every fucking week.
Lee is this week's MVP, innit?
Yeah.
There are a few things in addition to gaming that I am passionate about. These things are boxing. I'm not amazing, but I do compete in fights. And having pets. I've got lizards, dogs, and rodents. Now, seeing inaccurate depictions of these things in games or even TV and film completely, or film singular as well, fucking nice work, mate,
Student of film.
completely kills the realism for me and takes me out of the game. For example, animals in games just not reacting how they would in the wild. Red Dead had issues with this for their reptiles.
Okay.
Worst of all is how they depict animals being kept as pets, showing them in ridiculously small tanks or wildly incorrect conditions where the animal just wouldn't be able to survive as a pet. It's why I had to stop watching Ash vs. Evil Dead. That poor bearded dragon he keeps as a pet could not survive in that tank.
Great show, by the way.
The thing that's extra bad about this, as it may make people think they can get that animal as a pet and keep it the same way they saw it in the game or the TV show.
That is true.
Yeah.
Thanks, and keep up the great work, Lee.
I guess no, this is a reptile issue. Something I never thought I'd say, but I guess like, and Lee, please correct me if I'm wrong, but like video games have come a long way with at least like their depiction of dogs and cats. Like there's that really famous Twitter account all about petting dogs.
Can you pet the dog?
Can you pet the dog? He gets review codes and everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just so he can find out early.
Yeah.
And that's like a whole thing. But I guess like people take like, I don't know if you'd call a lizard an exotic pet. I don't know if that's something very ignorant to say.
I guess, yeah.
But I guess people just don't put the research into that. But like a lot of people will have hands-on experience with dogs and cats, so there's just a bit of common sense. But I guess they probably have to like look into like the conditions of like reptiles or whatever. So I guess that's the reason for the ignorance, you know.
I think
not that I'm excusing it. Fuck those guys.
Was it like Mass Effect or something where there was some sort of space hamster and it was in a tiny little glass box? Am I just imagining that?
No, it wasn't it? Wasn't it called Boo because of Baldur's Gate? It was a reference.
Maybe. So it was that was in your captain's quarters and stuff. And I'm no fucking guinea pig aficionado or whatever. I can't remember what it was.
I think it was a hamster. It was a space hamster because that's what Boo is, isn't it? From
stick with
Baldur's
hamster.
Gate, space hamster.
Yeah, you have to let hamsters out of the cage
Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't do that in.
because they like to run around. They like
Mass
to get
Effect.
exercise.
So that's a little.
Zero G hamster would have been cute as fuck.
That would actually. Yeah.
I remember Game of Thrones was bad for people kept getting big dogs because they were like,
Yeah.
I want to die a wolf, and
Yeah.
then there was like an uptick in people putting dogs up for adoption.
To the extent I used to
because
work.
they couldn't handle looking after big dogs,
Yeah.
and they didn't realise they need firm training.
I was working at the local newspaper around here at the time of Game of Thrones, the fucking dog issue, right,
Yeah.
being at its
When
peak.
When that was about 60% of the CGI budget.
North Wales police, man, they just couldn't handle it, could they?
It
They
was-
couldn't handle the snow dogs,
They're a very aggressive breed of dog, or so I hear.
Yeah,
Huskies and
absolutely.
snow dogs are supposed to be.
and they attack other dogs.
That's it.
A
Very
lot more.
That's what I
Like
hear.
you get like a Rottweiler or whatever would
Well,
be. You'd expect to be
Yeah.
more.
It's not that they're an aggressive breed; it's that people just don't train them properly. And
Yeah,
that
well,
leads to them being aggressive.
They're aggressive when they're made to live in the circumstances that they live by knobheads who just fucking buy them and then keep
because
them in
they
the
think they
house.
look cool.
Yeah.
And, yeah,
Yeah,
'cause-
they don't realise they need to go on like 3 walks a day. They need to like be taught.
Yeah, because they're not pulling a sled, innit? So
Yeah.
they've got to like get that exercise
Yeah.
that they're bred for.
They need to be
whatever.
active.
That's nice to hear about your pet peeves, though, Lee. If you've got any pet peeves like Lee
Huh?
Abrams, let us know because I want to hear what people are like getting worked up about.
I don't know if it was in a Patreon podcast or the real one. I think it might have been the real one. You mentioned boxing offhand.
Yeah.
didn't you, that I've had like a good 5 tweets of people tweeting me about boxing, you know?
Yeah?
Yeah, Lee's just put it up then. Like, yeah, that's quite nice. And so shouts out to the 2 people that recommended me boxing podcasts. I didn't ask for it, but I've been listening. So thank you very
Nice.
much.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
We got a bolognese waiting for us, but there's a couple before we finish. There's a couple of games coming out next week. Alien Isolation is coming to the Nintendo Switch on December the 5th, which is pretty fucking cool. As a big fan of Alien Isolation,
Yeah, it's 5 years old now.
I'm a big fan of half of it.
I remember that.
and Darksiders Genesis is coming to PC and
Stadia.
Yeah, don't forget
also on December the 5th.
Saga Scarlet Graces either, and Star Ocean First Departure R.
Which
I
are,
did forget about them.
So
Actually,
they're 2 very old Square Enix JRPGs that have been remastered.
Are they
That's
coming
all
out
you
on
need to know.
Switch?
Yes. Switch, PC, PS4.
Switch again, getting all the love.
So that's 4 games, do you know what I mean?
Sorry.
In about 20 seconds.
Just if you care about JRPGs.
And a Stadia game.
And yeah,
For the first time,
coming to Stadia.
The debut Stadia, and then as usual,
The first
Switch gets a lot of leaks.
The Switch port.
Imagine if someone had the time to get all of the games that we do every week. We're about 90% Switch coverage. There's so many games on Switch.
No, we are. That's true.
Nintendo is killing it. So
see you next week
see you
for
next
some
week.
more Switch ports. Bye.
Bye.